Good afternoon, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. We are at property address 1759 Northeast 60th Court here in Hillsboro. We are located just to the left of the front doorway. I describe everything as if you are looking at the facing the front of the house from the street. The very first foundation vent you come to here to the left of the doorway, cleanout sits right in front of it if you ever lose track of it. We're going to check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. We have water running here in just a moment. Off we go. Now we'll get a nicer view of the flow line here when the line drains out, but thus far that is looking like a really clean and spiffy flow line right there. Most notably, no major grease buildup in the line, which is very nice to see. Now we just transitioned there over to PVC pipe. A little bit of settling took place there at the transition joint. We'll take a second look at that on the way out. Unless the joint looks compromised in some manner, it looks like a very short-lived little belly in the line. Not the kind of stuff I'm going after. A little bit more significant standing water out at this point. I'm also running a garden hose at full bore right now. Anytime you have a lot of high volume water going down the line, it's going to exaggerate the standing water to an extent. That last spot there we just went through though, and we're going back into another one here. Oh, there's the main there. Ties right into the manhole out in the street. Anyway, the high volume water can exaggerate standing water a bit, so that's why I always let them drain out first. So while the line drains, we're gonna go locate just to verify where the line terminates at, and we'll pull back in here and take another look at everything. And I'm glad that, I mean, it looks like the line's all plastic pipe. Bellies in plastic pipe are, in general, a little bit different animal than when you get a belly in concrete. Cast iron pipe, they fare much better typically because of that smooth pipe wall. All right, located the camera head successfully. Line, there's a manhole right in the middle of the cul-de-sac. The line ties right into that. And I peered into there with my flashlight. The direction that this stub comes into the manhole, it lines up really nicely with the left side most portion of the driveway. Now if we run straight back to the house here, or to the driveway I mean, looks like the line's probably running down the driveway maybe 3 feet or so in from that left side edge. Alright, so it looks like you have a tiny bit of standing water at the very end of the line. I'm not even notating. It's so minor, it's not even worth talking about, honestly. This is where we start getting back into the, I would call the tree belly in the line. Let's see how this thing drains out here. So right now, let's see here. I'm going to jerk the camera back kind of quick here. So it looks like you're working with probably about, at its worst point, around the 2-inch mark of standing water. I'm just barely getting that water line to pull down below the camera head. After 13 years of doing this, trick I've figured out, when you pull the camera back quickly, when you've got about 2 inches or more, or exceeding 2 inches, when you pull the camera back quickly, you generally will not see the water line pull down below the camera lens. Anything less than that, you will. So what I'm not seeing here, though, is hardly anything in the way of buildup. All right, just located that spot there. That belly starts about 5 feet off into the roadway, so the entire stretch of it is in the road. If you notice, all the pipe preceding it is clean. Most certainly the top part of the pipe, and that's the important part. If that had ever caused, and if you look at the flow line, you've got a little bit of a film there. That's a film that develops over many, many years. Had this thing been hydrojetted recently for the sale, none of that stuff would be there. So you're getting a natural view at this line right now. There is zero buildup to speak of, no blockage evidence. And when you consider what the cost is to go trenching up that road there over something I can't even recommend cleaning on, a repair of that magnitude does not make sense to me. The big thing with and where the belly's positioned too, it's at 56 plus feet out. Getting a blockage and a backup to occur from that distance takes some doing on the homeowner's side. And by that, I mean abusing the line. If you're putting wipes, paper towels, grease, everything under the sun, you know you should not put down the line down there on a consistent basis. That's about the only way you could ever get that belly to a point where it could back up. Regular old toilet paper, even if your kids loaded it up with balled up toilet paper, the stuff disintegrates. And when you consider the amount of head pressure, that's the water weight that builds up behind a blockage, there is not a lot of blockages made of proper items that could withstand that kind of head pressure without breaking loose before that water ever got back to the house. So in my opinion, the belly there, I mean, it's if the belly were the first, 15, 20 feet out right outside the foundation of the house, it's a different story. In that close proximity, it's at higher risk for causing problems. But the line is superbly clean. The big thing is treat the line as you should. Put toilet paper down it. Don't put grease and wipes. Flushable wipes too. They're terrible. That's the big thing there. Otherwise, that belly shows no signs of ever acting up. And you're looking at probably a $10,000 to $15,000 repair there over something that I can't even recommend $300 in drain cleaning on. So that's my 2 cents on that. All the pipe there is intact. Nothing's broken. We have adequate flow from end to end here. Sewer line is functioning properly at this time. And outside that belly, the rest of the line here is graded nicely and looks fantastic.